City vs Liverpool is a game I'm extremely excited to see this weekend. It's got lots of different storylines that are going to be important in this game. Obviously, Liverpool coming off of a massive 7-1 win over Rangers in the Champions League is going to be very interesting to see if we can bring that momentum into the Premier League. Obviously, we've been playing a bit of a new system lately as well. Will Liverpool play 4-4-2? I think we will, unfortunately, play 4-4-2. It just seems really hard to drop one of Nunes or Firmino at this stage as well. We're playing some pretty good football in this system. It's just hard to see who gets dropped at this point. Nunes is playing really well. Jota off the left looks really good as well. So I'm excited to see what we can do. Obviously, the midfield's been an area that we've been lacking in a little bit as well. We've got Thiago fit, we've got Fabinho getting back to fitness, and we've got Henderson who is fit. And that's what's sort of leaning me towards us playing in a 4-4-2, mainly because the minutes haven't been there for the midfield. The only way I see us playing in a 4-3-3, which I think we might need to play in a 4-3-3 against Manchester City because of the quality that they've got, you know, in the midfield with Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne and Gundogan and Rodri, is that if you get a Harvey Elliott or a Cavallo in the midfield there with Fabinho and Thiago, I think that would be sort of the only option we've got in order to play a midfield three. Gomez, and I reckon it's going to be Tsimikas playing at left back. Should give us a little bit of width. We saw Gomez's ability to pass against Rangers as well, which was really good to see for one of the assists for Mo Salah's goal, I believe it was. So look, he's not going to be the same as Trent. We are going to miss Trent in a game like this because that's where we've exploited City in the past, is by being able to get in behind and whip those balls into Salah. But I think that leads on to my point. The big question is who starts up front. If it's a 4-3-3, then it's probably Nunes, Jota and Salah. If it's a 4-4-2, then you're just adding Firmino in for probably Harvey Elliott out of that midfield three. But on the other side of this game is Manchester City. Now, they're not a team that I want to write off because they are a very, very good football side. But can they be got at? We've seen in the Premier League this season that they can concede goals. And this Liverpool team, for as bad as we've been defensively, we've actually been pretty good at getting those opportunities in front of goal. I think there's going to be goals in this game. When we look at that Man City team, it's a new back four. It's pretty unsettled. Obviously, there's no Kyle Walker in there. Laporte's not at fitness yet. Does Akanji play centre back? Does he play right back? I think in this game he probably plays right back if he starts. So you'd have Akanji, Ruben Diaz, Ake, Cancelo as the back four, which is still very solid with obviously Edison in goals as well. It's still a very, very solid Man City team. They'll probably have Rodri as that pivot with Bernardo and De Bruyne. You know, that's one of the best midfields in the world. If it's not Rodri, then Gundogan probably sits in that deeper role as he did against Southampton, where he can just dictate the play as well. And then up front for Man City, you're looking at Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, and then one of Mahrez, Grealish. They've got so many options as this Man City team, and that's what makes them lethal. Haaland coming off of a rest in the Champions League, although City did draw against Copenhagen, having a break and an opportunity for Erling Haaland to rest. Oh, I'm nervous. I'm very, very nervous to see what a fresh Erling Haaland can do against this Liverpool defence. But look, I think this game is going to have goals. More often than not, these games tend to end sort of 3-3, 2-2, probably more 2-2. I don't know where I got 3-3 from. And that's where I'm sort of leaning at, for this game. Anfield, the crowd's definitely going to be up for it. Can we get goals? That's the main thing, because I don't think we're going to keep this Man City team out, unfortunately. So I think 2-2 is my prediction on this one. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, if I'm being a hopeful Liverpool fan. Also, let me know in the comments. There's some other really good games that I want to talk about. You would have seen some content already about Ivan Toney. I'm recording this after that game. Sorry if you can hear all the noise as well on the road. I just couldn't get anywhere today to record this a bit quietly. Brentford knocking off Brighton 2-0. I definitely did not see that coming, which is really impressive from a Brentford perspective, But I think they're looking pretty good. Brighton, I think they'll be all right. It's just obviously a new manager, new message, and I think they'll be okay. Some other big games this week, though, that I want to cover is Arsenal and Leeds. This is a really, really important game for both clubs. Leeds haven't won, I think, in their last 5. They've had 3 losses and 2 draws in their last 5, and Arsenal obviously flying at the moment. So there's lots that's going to play out in this game. I think Arsenal are going to win at Ellen Road, but it's not going to be easy. I'm going to say 2-0 for Arsenal. They'll get the job done. Hopefully it's Martinelli on the score sheet again for my fantasy team, but Jesus is probably due a goal, and similar to Haaland, he actually had a break this week as well from European football. Then we've got Manchester United versus Newcastle, which is a big game for both clubs. Newcastle, although have looked really good, they're still not getting major results. They've gotten a few wins in the last few. They're conceding some silly goals, and they really can't afford to do that against this Manchester United team. They've got players up front that can find the back of the net. When they've got Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Martial, if he's fit and firing, then this Man United team definitely has goals in it, but I think they've definitely got goals in them to concede as well. I definitely see this being either a Newcastle win or a score draw, but I'm going to back Newcastle at Old Trafford 2-1. I like what I'm seeing from Newcastle. They're playing some really good free-flowing football. Bruno Guimaraes got a double last week. Trippier's just creating everything down that right-hand side for Newcastle, and that allows Almiron a lot of space as well to be creative. So Newcastle 2-1 for me at Old Trafford. And the last game I want to touch on is Crystal Palace and Leicester. The early kick-off on Saturday, I think this is going to be one of the games of the week. This is going to have goals, this is going to have excitement, this is going to have flair, this is going to have some interesting defending. I think Crystal Palace are going to take this one out 3-2. I think there's going to be lots of goals in this game. Zaha's looked really good. Odson Edouard starting to find the back of the net. Eze and Elise are really contributing from an attacking perspective. But then also Crystal Palace have actually looked pretty solid against most sides this year. Leicester, towards the bottom of the table on 4 points, but they've got a really good attack. When you've got Barnes, Vardy, Daka, Iheanacho, Maddison, all in and around those creative positions, you're always going to have opportunities to score goals. Tielemans from deep as well. I'm very excited to see how this game unfolds. I definitely think it's going to have goals in it, and I'm going to go Crystal Palace 3-2. Make sure you subscribe.